up, SFL Nation? We are back with my fourth and goal interview. I have Mr. Jorge Torres with me. He is the free safety for the Tulsa Desperados, my old team. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you, Ashley?
I'm making it, man, one day at a time, brother. It's good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you too. I've been waiting for this.
Hey, listen, and I'm glad we made it work. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. We're going to be talking about how you have been progressing in the league. And we're going to be talking about something a little bit more serious with mental health. So, first off, how have you been doing in general?
I've been balling. I mean, let's be honest. I've been balling. I have my stats right here because I was just waiting to show. I had an interception in my first preseason game, which I was like, okay, I was like, I'm doing good with my new team. And that was the first game that I really got to see how everyone played. And we didn't really have all the playbooks, so I couldn't see how our coach really wanted to go on about the schemes. But, I mean, I did see everyone's talent. We saw JQ. He has an amazing arm, threw for a bunch of yards. I think like 300 yards. We knew we found our franchise quarterback, and to be in the same class as that just makes me feel great because I don't plan on leaving Tulsa soon. They're a great bunch of guys. But I have 2 interceptions all throughout this week 6, and I think that's pretty good. Those are pretty good numbers. I got defensive game ball 2 games ago, 7 solo tackles and 3 pass deflections. So overall, I feel like I'm progressing pretty well. Yes,
you are. And I also got you down for 37 tackles, 9 assists. You also have the 2 pass deflections and the 2 interceptions you were talking about for 47 yards. And that's a great start, man. And there's still a lot of season to go.
Yes, a lot of season. And I'm not just aiming for good stats. I want trophies. I want silverware. I want it all. I want individuals. I want team awards. So, yes, we got a lot of football to play, and I'm very excited because every week we're just getting better. Every week coach is adjusting new schemes and finding out how to properly use us. So, it's all looking up. It's all looking up.
Definitely. What did you think about last game?
I mean, it was good. Kind of feel bad. We had to hand DC their 6th loss. But, we played hard. Defense balled out. They definitely had to incorporate the run game a lot more, which they didn't do so bad at. But we are the 2nd best passing defensive team in the league, and we take pride in that. And just goes to show, when teams have to, watch tape and, adjust to something like that, it shows the difference in calibers of teams. And we were very proud of how we played. It was a hard-fought battle, It was pretty close towards the end. I think around 3rd quarter, it was 10-17. And then, everything just went our way. Gabriel Manning had that touchdown, and we basically knew it was over. So it was a good game to DC. I didn't get to watch the whole thing. I was just watching it actually before we started doing this, but it was a great game.
Okay. And so tell me, what's Tulsa's current record again?
We're 3-3. We're at a good 500. So, good position right now. Week 6, can only look up from here. 3-win streak. So we're pretty hot, and we're trying to stay hot.
There you go. And I was going to ask you, so for the next few games, is there a certain team that you feel that you may have to prepare for a little bit more than others, or?
Yes. Yeah. We were just talking about the chat how looks like St. Louis was about to get their first loss. If we beat St. Louis divisionally, we'd be at a very good position, and it would just basically be straight winning, not making dumb mistakes, and it would punch the ticket to the playoffs. So definitely St. Louis is someone we got on our radar.
Yes, St. Louis is a heck of a team nowadays. You know?
Yeah.
I watched them. Yeah, I watched them grow through some turbulent times into the team that they are now. So, that's a good thing to look out for, man. But
yeah, that's for sure.
Jorge, let's go ahead and get started with why we came here tonight. And let's talk about mental health and the importance of it. it's been a lot going on. I would say from my own personal standpoint, I lost my father recently. And that has been, it hurts, but I have to, first of all, I feel better that he is not suffering the way he was with the various ailments. He had psychosis, which is like something like with the lungs. His lungs were affected. He had a oversized heart, and it was damaged. He had kidney damage, he had liver damage. So he was going through a lot. And I think what gave me peace of mind was that I was able in November to kind of talk to him and just get some things off my chest and to get some forgiveness. Because, when you're a teenager, you think you know everything. In your 20s, you think you know everything. You don't want to listen. But I was glad I was able to go to him and he forgave me. And he said, actually, I forgive you and I still love you. And, regardless. And I think that helps me even now. And then being at his bedside, because he didn't want to die in the hospital. He wanted to die at home. And he was in hospice care. And I went over there and I saw him every chance I could. They said that he was going to be gone by Friday and he didn't leave us until Wednesday. So we had a lot of time to be able to kind of spend. And I played jazz music for him because that was his favorite music. And help, cleanse him, things like that. And it just felt good to be able to do all of that for him. And he knew that I was there. So that's kind of what it's helping me mentally right now. It's just the forgiveness and taking the time that I had and spent it wisely. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, of course. I'm really glad that you had that time to not only give yourself closure, but I feel that, he got closure as well, in a sense that, in like you were saying, his final moments, he got to spend with his daughter. So, that's something that you will get to cherish for the rest of your life. And I don't think there's any regrets by what I'm hearing. So, it's something that obviously doesn't make it any easier to move on, but I think it does. It strays away from sometimes when you have a death in the family and you kind of have a sour taste in your tongue, as per se, about how things were left, or unfortunately, if you guys were fighting or something. But that's not the case, and I'm just really glad to hear that.
Yeah, thank you, Jorge. I appreciate it. And
of course,
in the what we were talking about as far as mental health, is that kind of thing can wear on you mentally. This COVID thing, and everybody's locked up in the house, and no one can go anywhere and do what you want to do, even see your family members the way you want to. So, what are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on mental health? First off,
well, First of all, I was very confused when I was younger about mental health and the whole idea of mental health. And I think mainly it was just my upbringing. I was dealing, I guess, with a lot of mental health issues when I was younger. When I first moved here from Mexico when I was 7, we moved due to medical reasons. My mother was diagnosed with stage 3 lymphoma. So we moved specifically because of MD Anderson and the quality of doctors and care that we had. And luckily, we were well off enough to afford and have her in care. So there was a lot of moments in my childhood, and specifically saying from ages about 7 to 14, just before reaching full teenager, that I was dealing with a lot of internal struggles that I didn't know how to really pinpoint or per se address, because it just felt like fear, like just any type of fear. And that's what I feel like a lot of people feel nowadays. And even at an older age, there's a stigma between mental health and, crazy people. And there's a stigma between, it's very black and white, and that's really not how it should be, because you never know what anyone's going through. I recently had one of my really good friends that I've met since I was 12. We were gym workout buddies. We played football together. We kind of stopped talking for a bit, but I knew a lot about him. I knew he was a really nice guy, always, as per se, the light in the room. And he just committed suicide about a week ago. So it's things like that, you know, there's the example that I'm giving you where I was visibly and emotionally going through a lot of stress and anxiety, and my dad not being at home and me having to watch my little brother. A lot of times, the only time we got to see our mom was on her bedside. And it was just moments like that where I would just go home and sit down and really think about, like, I had the pain, just type of pain in my chest that I couldn't know. I just didn't know how to explain. I would ask my grandma, and I would, you know, verbally try to explain what I was feeling. But it's just, I guess, the way I was raised. And I really wanted to bring awareness to this because of what happened to my friend a couple weeks ago. We never thought anyone like him, like his personality. There was no drug history. There was, you know, no, he was not medicated. He had never had any attempts, and this just happened, and it was very tragic. And it's just, you really never know. And the point that I wanted to bring across with everything and all what I'm saying is, we have a very loving community here that I've noticed in the SFL. And I firsthand, obviously, have been dealing since I was a child with anxiety and chronic depression. And I've gone through doctors, and I've gone through different psychiatrists and psychologists, and I've spoken to close friends. But the number one thing that I think's helped me most is not feel like I have to do that, but just knowing that there's a certain group of people that have gone through what I've gone through, or just are willing to listen and would love to talk about anything. And that's really the thing. It can be anything. You know, you could save someone's life by starting a conversation and becoming friends. And it can be something beautiful. And I think a lot of people nowadays take it for granted, and especially in social media. So that's why I really wanted to specifically talk about the SFL and how everyone that I've met here has positively impacted my mental health. And I don't know any of these people personally. I would love to. I would love to go out and meet all these people that I've talked to. And since I played for the Adams in the SFL, everyone, my coaches, it was only just football talk, but just general, hey, like checkups, like how are you doing? I know even you messaged me a couple weeks ago. I haven't been active, and you want to just check up, and that's the kind of stuff like you love to see. You know, you really love to see other people reaching out and trying to lend a hand. So what I was trying to bring across with this whole awareness talk was, don't be afraid to reach out to anyone that, you know, you feel that's a trusted person, that no one's going to look at you like you're crazy, or if you feel like you have any suicidal thoughts or anything of the sort. Especially, like, I'm throwing myself out there. Like, if anyone in the community would love to talk, my DMs are open. And I would love to help anyone out. Obviously, I'm not asking for anyone to come with their personal problems. That's something that is private. And if you have another way that you would like to deal with it, you know, I respect that. But I'm just saying, myself, if anyone needs to talk, I'm right here. And I'm sure Ashley feels the same way. Anything else you'd like to add, Ashley?
Absolutely. First of all, my condolences to you for the loss of your friend. That is tough, especially when people, like you say, are the life of the party, and they laugh and they smile and they joke around, and then all of a sudden you hear they've taken their own life, and you're wondering, is there something that you could have done? Is there something that was going on that you didn't know? And it goes back to those questions. And I think when you try your best to reach out to people, even if they haven't talked to you in years, don't be afraid to do that, because you never know. You could just be the saving grace that they need. When I was a server, I had a friend that was working at the host stand, and I gave her a hug just out of the blue. I don't know, it's just something tells me. Before COVID, I was a hugger. I just love everybody. But, and she said, Ashley, that's the first time that somebody has hugged me in about a month. I said, what? And I gave her another one. I was like, please, I'm here for you,
2 more, yeah.
But the thing is, it's true. You never know what is going on in someone's life and how you can positively impact them by just saying, hey, or even just saying hi. You know how people are out on the street and you see people and they kind of ignore them and things like that, because they're not like them, or they feel like, oh, well, I shouldn't talk to this person. You never know what you can get just from a conversation with people. And ultimately, this is why I started this podcast, was because everyone had a story. And when you take the time out to listen to everyone's story, you can grow from that. You may find similarities or differences in what they're talking about. And I'm sure with you being a member of the Adams, there were some times where you guys came together and you mentioned something, and then one of your guys heard it and they're like, oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's like a small world. And that brings joy, because right now there's not a lot of joy or happiness that's going on in this world. And you got to find it where you can. And this community is a wonderful place to be able to express yourself, be able to be yourself. And you shouldn't be judged, because you are who you are. This is one of the safest places that I think that I have been, because of course you have some people that have their issues, but everybody here seems for the most part to be genuine about what they're telling you, about how they feel about you. If you're messing up, like, hey, I think you need to do this a little bit differently, or even giving you kudos when you do something great, Yeah. And you want to hear that. It goes back to kind of like you being a child. Like, you want to hear, hey, you're doing a good job,
Yeah.
Or, hey.
I mean, one of the things that I wanted to add to that was, I remember draft night for me. This round number 2, and I just remember you guys kept calling my name, all the panelists, and you were just wanting me to get drafted, and the chat started going crazy with hashtag draft Jorge, and that was just something, like just stuff like that, it made my day. It was awesome. Like, I couldn't stop talking about it. It was one of those things that it might seem small to someone else, but someone else, it might just be the world to them. It might, like you say, you might be their saving grace. And it could be a video game, it could be a chat, it could just be a hug, like you said. There's really an endless amount of things you could do to help someone, and especially I advocate a lot of people who are shy and really reclusive about what they're going through, to really try and open up to anyone in this community. Like you mentioned, this is one of the safest communities, because not all communities are like this. Let's be real. There's a lot of scary places in Discord, and this is not one of them. But there's just a lot of positivity and love here, and people I never have chatted myself in the past would talk in general and at me specifically and be like, great play, or defense did good, or great job, Adams, or just random congratulations. And that's the thing you really love to see in the community. It's just constant love and support, and that's the only way to grow, not only as a community but as a person yourself. And that's something that I've been trying to work on recently, and it's been helping, and I've been doing a lot better, and I've been more active. I'd love to talk to my teammates more now. We have this whole thing within the Tulsa locker room where I just bought NCAA 13. So I made them all in there, and I'm playing this dynasty thing, and it gets competitive, and I show them all the simulation games, and then I just imported them to Madden. So it's like it has a whole little storyline. So
nice.
It kind of helps you get to know your teammates better, and I thought it was a little fun exercise and whatnot. So even Coach Dion's on it; he's killing it. He got over 1,000 rushing yards, I think, his rookie year.
Hey,
absolute boss. I know.
That's awesome.
But yeah.
Man. So
yeah, no, just to end, I think we should again really invite anyone else that needs to talk or has or just really has to cry out for help to seek out someone and really just not let yourself feel like a burden, not let yourself feel like it's your fault or whatever you're going through, you couldn't change it, because that's not really, like 90% of those like scenarios are not true, and you're just self-harming. It might not be physical, but it's mental, and
yes.
And that's a lot more scarring in the long run. And
and that is one of the keys, is to get it off your chest, is to talk about it, because when you hold things inside, it bottles up and it may come out in a way that you didn't originally intend on somebody that was innocent, or that one person, like when you're talking about bullying, and even keyboard warriors, bullies that exist on the internet. My daughter was telling me that there's some of her friends that thought about killing themselves, and they're only like 12 or 13 years old.
Oh yeah. No, I mean there's so many cases I've heard, and recently about it too. Just young kids, man, like I always want to have a family and obviously raise my own kids, but there's always that fear, because kids can really be ruthless sometimes, and they don't know the impact that just some words can make to someone who is not in the same household as they are. That's something that a lot of people don't take in consideration, how a mean comment like saying that someone's overweight or just something like that might really not seem like it's a big deal, but when they're in an environment at home where they're dealing with stuff that you don't know about, like it could be abusive parents or traumatic childhood or another history of being called names of the sort, that's just something else that people really don't, I would say think first before you speak. So
okay. And just for those that don't necessarily know what depression is, because a lot of times you can hear words and think that you know what it means, but you don't really know. A mental health, clinical depression, the mental health disorder characterized by persistently depressed mood or loss of interest in activities, causing significant impairments in daily life. Possible causes include combinations of biological, psychological, and social sources of distress. And increasing research suggests that these factors may cause changes in brain function, including altered activities of certain neural circuits in the brain. So it can go really deep, the sadness, the loss of interest. You can changes in sleep and appetite and energy levels, your concentration, daily behavior, your self-esteem. If you're not taking care of yourself, if you're not reaching out, if you know that you're feeling some type of way, you can fall victim. And what I don't want people to do is to feel like they have to rely on prescription drugs. Ultimately, I think that was part of my father's demise, was because he was on so many different drugs to help with things that were counteracting with each other now. So if you're taking about 5 different pills for 5 different things, maybe 2 of those don't work well and they're killing something else that you don't know. So when you're taking these drugs and everything for your mental, you don't know what that's actually doing to your body too. So natural things, like even eating right, even changing your, I found eating right and even exercising, whenever I'm feeling stressed out, I'll just go exercise, or go out for a walk, or just breathe deeply, things that your body already knows how to do. But if you do more of it, then it kind of helps you,
No, that's that's a whole other issue on its own, because people usually, the people I know that have gone through situations like that have been abusing medicine that is specifically for issues that are, being it just counteractive. Like if you take an anti-anxiety medication pill and you start to rely on it, then it's like putting on a helmet, like just a black box, and it blocks everything out, and it numbs you out as a person. And once you don't have it, you become dependent on it, not only mentally, but there's physical consequences to that kind of stuff. And that could even lead to further problems, talking not only just crisscrossing medications, but even if you're not careful with a single one, which I really don't think anyone should be taking this stuff. It's painkillers, anti-anxiety medications, all those things. If anyone recommends you to try them or to take them, it's something that in the long run it will affect you very negatively. There's a lot of brain cognitivity issues linked, including schizophrenia, dementia. You become very susceptible to these things. And it's something that like you're saying, go exercise, go do something that's not only positive for your mental health, but it's also positive for your physical health. If you're happy with how you look, then you're happy. If you, at least for me, mentally speaking, if I'm happy with the way I look because I'm doing something that I see that's causing effects, like me getting in better shape, or performing better at a sport that I like, or just like a hobby, it increases, dopamine in my head, and it just gives me a better mental health state, and gets rid of my anxiety. I can sleep better, and those are key things too. Getting some sleep, like you're saying, it might sound silly to some people, but a good night's sleep is very essential, because if not, then you're gonna wake up stressed, not be able to sleep, have a bad day, and it all accumulates and it snowballs. So
true. And sleep is very important. And unfortunately, it's not a lot of people that are getting the right amount of sleep. I'm one of the,
I'm guilty of it too.
And you can feel a difference when you do get that nice, good rest. And the thing is, when you sleep, your body, not only your mind is healing, but your body is healing, and you're resting, and it's allowing all of the processes that your body needs to go through. And then when you wake up, you're refreshed. That's the reason why sleep is important. And if you don't get it, then you can be cranky. It could be you're not paying attention. You're kind of scatterbrained, things like that. That could have detrimental effects as well. So you're totally right about that. I also wanted to touch on social anxiety disorder, and as it says, it is a chronic mental health condition in which social interactions cause irrational anxiety. For people with social anxiety disorder, everyday social interactions cause irrational anxieties, fears, self-consciousness, and embarrassment. Now, I did have a friend that, now that I'm reading that, she definitely had social anxiety disorder. And it was where she thought that people were always talking negatively about her. So she'll see somebody over in the corner, or girls in the corner talking and snickering, but she thought that it was always about her. That there was something that they didn't like about her, and it's therefore they're doing this. And even just the fear of talking to people, or like just conversing, because you think you're going to say something stupid, or you think that people are going to think less of you and negatively of you. That's something that you can't do either, because you're stifling your chances for good friendships, you're stifling your chances to even get what's in your mind out, you know, because you don't recognize that you have this stress, this ease, this disorder that's going on, you know, within inside you. That can be fixed. It can. I don't want people to think that, oh no, I'm broken and nothing can fix me. Yes, it can. And coming to people like Jorge and myself, people that care, and we may not have the answer for you. You know, we may not know all the answers, but at least we are an ear to listen. And sometimes that's important for people.
Yeah. No, and a lot of people with social anxiety too tend to be the ones that join these communities because they get a chance to be someone they want to be, and they themselves don't feel that their own personal self is adequate, and that's a shame, because I mean, once you get to meet all these lovely people, and you really actually understand who they are as a person, it makes you kind of question in a way. Well, I mean, it like, you know, how does this person feel like this? You know, they're very sociable. I mean, at least to me, they're very easy to talk to. It's, you know, stuff like that, like you said, it can be fixed. It's a self-image problem. It's definitely something that no one else thinks about you but yourself, and it's just all about self-esteem. It's all about even small things like self-positive talk, which I just recently started. It's a great way to just uplift yourself when you feel like you're really, really down and there's nothing that you can do. You just literally go in the mirror and start talking positive about yourself, but not like just flat
in a narcissistic way, right?
Yeah, no, just in a way that, you know, I'm strong, I can do this. This is something I can get past, and it's only going to make me a better person, and I'm going to become stronger, and I'm going to learn from it. That kind of self-positive talk, self-mental encouragement, stuff like, yeah, just in that general sense. Those are little tips that I use, that I have found effective, that really have helped me with my social anxiety.
That's
and also
awesome.
I've quit drinking, which that I thought it would help me fix social anxiety, but in the end, it's just gave me a lot of anxiety myself. And I have a lot of friends that have gone very dark paths due to alcohol.
Yeah.
So it was something that I chose personally to, you know, not keep digging yourself a hole, because in a lot of cases, people with social anxiety do just dig themselves a hole by self-negative talk.
Yes.
Which is the opposite of self-positive talk, which is what I'm saying. It's such a helpful exercise. You wake up and you look at yourself and you think, oh, I'm so ugly, I'm so imperfect, like I don't look good, and that stuff just tears you down beyond your imaginations. You might think it's just like comments to yourself or your own opinion, but it's way deeper than that, and it can stick to you. And if you don't make an attempt to snap out of that situation, you can find yourself in a really deep hole.
Yeah. And I think one of the most fantastic acronyms that I've heard, I hope that's the right word, is your own universe is what you stands for. So if all of this is a universe, then you have to understand and figure out how you want your universe to be. How do you want to be? How do you want? And it's not necessarily how people see you, because people will always have their thoughts. People always have their perception of you. But, you know, as long as you know that you're doing the right thing, and even if you're not, if you need guidance, just ask. Don't feel like you got to go it alone. But if you have that guidance, and if you have that will to want to do the right thing and want to just make your universe as positive as possible, then you can go far in life. And honestly, that's what I try to do. People look at me all the time and it's like, man, you're just too nice. You're just too positive. Why are you like that? Well, because I was born this way and I want to maintain it. And the thing is, I feel better doing this instead of being argumentative, instead of being negative all the time. Because to be negative takes so much out of you versus being positive, bringing people up instead of tearing them down. Yeah. And I think when you're online, when you're dealing with people, period, especially if it's somebody that you admire and that you love, and then they decide that they want to, say those mean and negative things to you, then you have to be strong within yourself and just say, no, I know that that's not true. I know that I love myself, and I know that that is just your perception of me, especially if you know that you're doing the right things,
Yeah. No, because like other people, like you're saying, they don't make decisions for you.
No.
They don't, their opinion on you, unless it's obviously someone who has an actual reason to be concerned, a loved one, that, in case you are struggling with something, they notice it. Other than that, opinions are just opinions, and they're not called facts. They're called opinions. And one person can think one outlandish thing about you. Someone else might think, the best thing about you. And it could be completely opposites, but relate to the same subject. Mm-hmm. And it's really how you yourself choose to take it. Are you going to go down the path of, hey, you're ugly and you're lazy and that's my opinion on you? Or, are you going to go down the path and listen to someone who's actually has something positive to say about you? Because it's a lot easier to choose the path of negativity and just being self-reliant on someone else's opinion to develop yourself. And I don't think there's a worse thing that you can do than mold yourself by other people's opinions, because you will never achieve your true potential as a person. And that's a fact. You're gonna have to at one point realize that you yourself are the only one that's gonna carry you as far as you can go. And you don't want to be peaking in high school. You don't want to be peaking in your early days of college. You want to go far. And one of my favorite sayings is, we didn't come this far to come this far. So there's always light at the end of the tunnel, regardless of what you're going through. There's nothing that cannot be fixed unless it's, something. And nowadays, I feel like a lot of things can be fixed, but if it's not, you can work your way through it. And there's a lot of people that would love to talk, and there's a lot of people that would love to listen as well. If you just need someone to vent to, it's not just about talking. Don't be afraid to start a conversation. You can ask someone, be like, hey, I really feeling overwhelmed. I'd like to get things off my chest. Would you just listen to me? That's something that also, it might not be as engaging, but if they listen and they just give you a reply and tell you, it's going to be fine. We're not asking everyone here to be a licensed therapist,
right?
But what I'm trying to get across is, it can be as simple as opening someone's DM and wanting to have those good intentions to brighten their day and make yourself a better person. Because when you start acting and doing things like this, it becomes a habit. And that's one of the best habits that you should want to have. You should want to help people. And I believe in karma. So, there's nothing better than, helping people and wanting to make a difference in someone's life.
Definitely. Good thing is, Optimus Klein, which is the owner of the San Diego Mavericks, he actually came up with an idea for a channel in the Discord for people that want to come and talk to someone. You have something going on at home. You've exhausted everything. You exhausted all of your ideas. Maybe someone else will have some good things for you. And Cam, we brought it to Cam's attention, and Cam is all for it. It's just about how to properly do that. And if you have a channel, will you have people coming in that doesn't have good intentions in their heart? to try to interject themselves into someone else's business. And Mark Horowitz, which is DOC, Director of Compliance, we talked to him, and he said that it's probably best, and Cam even mentioned that it's probably best that we have a designated group of people, maybe about 4 or 5 people, that are willing, like you and I, to listen to people and make sure that it's known that we are not therapists, we are not licensed, we are not going to school for it. We're just humans trying to help other humans get through their hard time in life. And they seem like that's something that they will be working on in the future, you know, which is going to be great, because we do have a lot of veterans in our league that probably is going through a PTSD. We have a lot of teenagers in our league that are going through the growing pains of just being a teenager in a COVID time. So you're not really going out and hanging out with your friends like you really want to. So you're dealing with that. You're dealing with people that aren't necessarily the best at expressing themselves, or they just say whatever on what the first thing that comes to mind without really thinking about how it's going to affect other people. You know, we have those people that just may need some guidance and the realizations that they're doing this and that it can be changed, you know. And we're looking to get that off the ground pretty soon. And I already know that you're going to be one of those ones that people...
Oh, I'd love to.
Yeah. So...
No, and piggybacking on something you said, you don't need to go to someone that's licensed to talk to your problems or about your problems. Mm-hmm. You know, I feel like a lot of people really keep things bottled up because, you know, it's not a professional and I would really like to speak to someone. Well, I mean, stuff like that could just, if you keep it bottled up, and I can vouch for that. I had a whole stinge of I think it was a 6-month period where I was feeling horrific, and I would not go anywhere, and I would not want to talk to anyone unless they were like a licensed psychiatrist. And luckily my dad came into my room one time, and he told me his friend, you know, that was studying psychology, but you know, she wasn't a psychiatrist, would love to talk to me. And it made me realize that I guess I didn't really want to talk to someone that's licensed. I just wanted someone to tell me, hey, here's someone to talk to you. And I didn't even mind or care really that she was studying psychology, because she couldn't have been. And if my dad told me that she was studying engineering, it's just the fact that someone is there and someone wanted to help me out and notice that I was going through something and that I needed to talk to someone, and I accepted it right away. So don't think you really need to talk to anyone that's licensed, but if you have the accessibility to, you know, that's obviously recommended. But if you're just in a really dark place and you really feel like you need to talk to someone, don't wait. Please don't. There's always people that are here to listen, like me and Ash. And as soon as this program or channel goes off, I will be one of the first people that will be there, and I'll be more than willing to help, you know, anyone in the community, especially anyone between the ages of, you know, late teens to middle 20s. You know, that's my specialty. That's what I've been dealing with. Yeah. So yeah, no, that's something that's I think a great plan, and I really hope it comes to fruition soon. But in the meantime, we're always available through DMs. Mm-hmm. And
yeah, that's very true. And you know, don't be afraid, which is, I think, what holds people back from doing things. The fear of being judged, the fear of, is this person gonna think less of me if I tell them this? I'm like, no, because that's a part of the human experience. You go through certain things in your life and you may get broken down, or one of my another saying I like is that sometimes you think of life like a circle, right? Sometimes you're on the bottom, right? And then all you have to do is go back up to the top. Just be patient. You're gonna be right back up there. You know?
Yeah.
That's just such is life. But did you have anything else you wanted to add before I let you go, man? This is a great conversation, and I really appreciate you for having it.
No, of course. I wanted to have this. I didn't watch about 4 of my first games because I was going through, just anxiety and being stuck at home, and I've been in between jobs, and I'm still taking online classes. So it was a lot. I felt cooped up, and I really thought it was a great way to bring it to attention to the league and help anyone that might be going through the same issues I have. So no, not really. Just everyone stay safe, obviously. We're still going through a pandemic. Let's not forget.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of people do. No, just I will be back on Ash's podcast, I assume, sometime near the future. Go check out the first episode of Flying High with JT the Jet. Hopefully Ashley gets on my second ever episode.
I would love to.
Spoiled it. I kind of wanted it to be a surprise, but whatever. It's fine. And hopefully our topics will be a little bit more cheerful.
Yeah.
We'll talk more football. We'll talk more SFL.
Mm-hmm.
And just stay safe, guys. And that's about it. We ball. Go Tulsa.
Well, thank you, man. I really appreciate you for being here as always. I was gonna give you a last word, but I guess that was it, huh?
No, that's it. We ball. We ball.
All right.
Stay balling.
That's okay. I know all about the we ball, honey. I know. I still got my T-shirt from Tulsa. I still got it. I know. It was like, why you still got it? Because I can't get rid of it, man.
If we didn't draft Jay, you should have definitely made a comeback. You should have definitely made a comeback to Tulsa. Yeah, I mean, just saying. But I'm excited for Week 11 because I think that's our game, right?
Think so. Yeah,
coming up 5 more weeks.
Yeah, it is. I'm gonna need you to sit down though. I don't need you getting no interceptions. Do you know that I threw 6 interceptions today?
You threw 6 picks,
bro. Yeah.
I mean, how many tutties though? Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to ratio it out.
I think it was like 3 touchdowns, but still.
Okay, so I mean, you threw 3 picks. I mean, did y'all win?
We won.
Okay. Well, that's the thing. I mean, a quarterback that can bounce back from 6 picks is a good quarterback. I'll tell you that. And I mean, Jay was struggling. I think in the second preseason game, we were like, "Oh man!" But just like you, he's a boss. He gets through the picks. It's just a little hump in the road. But
that's it. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. That's really it. But I will not sit out. I'm not sitting out.
No, I think you should.
I'm playing corner. I'm playing safety. I'm playing anything.
See, I don't need that stress. And then I know that it's a possibility that JQ can run because I think his speed is 80 or something crazy.
Yes. He's getting his. I think his progression this week was an animation that I will not spoil for anyone. But
no worries. I can look it up. So no worries.
Okay. All right. Whatever. Well, I mean, I'm just saying he's reminiscent of PJ Slaughter back in the days in the Adams, and I like that about him. He's a real good guy. So yeah, no, JQ is a beast. Shout out to I'm gonna shout out Jason France because I told him I was coming on here. He said he was gonna watch this for sure. Coach Dion, your boss, getting me out there, getting me them picks, man. Who else? I got room for one more because I don't have to name the whole team here, but
can you name the whole team?
I can name the whole rookie.
You said you can name all the rookies on your team. So who are they?
Well, we got our first pick in our franchise quarterback, JQ.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, we got Jason France. Number 3 in order was Jorge Torres. And then we got Julian Valle, or
Valier, I think so. I think that's it.
One of the two. And then Jonelle Ritters. The J Squad.
Okay.
J Squad, baby.
All right then. Because I was gonna get on you if you ain't know. Now,
I mean, you know I have to know.
Now that's the 5. So when you come back, we're gonna get the other 15 players, and then we'll be good to go.
Okay. Whatever you say, Ashley. Whatever you say.
Listen, it's kind of hard to keep up with 20 names, man. I definitely. Only reason why I know all.
DJ Warner. What?
I was gonna say the only reason why I know all of my people is because I'm GM. But what were you gonna say?
I was about to shout out DJ Hume. He's the boy.
So you got JQ.
He's not the 5th one, but he's the boy.
JQ, Jorge Torres, Jonelle Ritter. Was it? It's not Ricky Thornton, was it?
And then Jason. No, and then Jason France.
Oh man!
France.
So the website is not updated with everybody's name on it.
It's not updated. Oh, I saw Deputy Commissioner say something about that.
Yeah.
Dang. So. All right. Well,
don't worry about it. Don't worry. We
let's just forget about that. Okay. Shout out to the Tulsa team, though.
There you go.
There you go.
But thank you, man. Looking forward to anytime. And listen, whenever you need me on your show, man, I got you. I love visiting everybody and love, just trying to bring up everybody, especially when you want to be a content creator. This is one of the most difficult things you can do. So kudos to you for doing that. Looking forward to our next topic.
No, I'm trying.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You have a good one.
You too. Later, Ashley.